I too have the flu. No. No. Fuck, the flu sucks. I had the flu shot this year too. That's the worst part. Anyway, people have been asking for some how to plays, and I figured I'd see what I could get out, if you know what I mean. I'm just gonna do Sakura because she's my bae right now. And then if I'm still feeling up for it, I'll probably do Zeku, but Zeku might take a while because it's going to be literally twice as long as other characters. Sakura. How about this bitch? Probably a lot of people trying to play her right now. I'm probably better than a lot of Sakura players right now, but I'm probably worse than a lot of Sakura players right now. Let me see here. How do we go? Her forward walk speed. Mad good. Mad good. Really good. Unfortunately, she has really stubby everything. So you're going to be doing a lot of walking, and she's very reliant on, if you're trying to walk in to do stand strong, you've got to do a lot of walking for a lot of her sequences. So you better get used to like that far walk in, and you better be very aware of, you know, people trying to stop that far walk in. She has to walk greater distances than other characters, so it kind of mitigates. It's not, her forward walk speed isn't as good as it looks. It is really good in neutral though, I gotta say. Her back walk speed is good too. No unusual. She can alter her jump arc mid-air very, very slightly. You can do air Tatsu, or EX Tatsu. The air Tatsu can't hit from behind, it's like Ryu. So, no shenanigans with that. EX Tatsu can technically hit from behind, but you would never ever do it in a real match. But technically it works. It's like really hard to do too. But technically you can do it. It's like not a practical thing. Never looked at her taunt, okay.
Go on! I'd do it if I were you.
That's a good one. Kinda cute. Anyway, no significant ways to alter her jump arc, and no significant... She does have a unique jump, I guess. But we'll talk about that when we get to talking about it. Normals, I guess. Stand jab is probably your best all-around light normal. It has really good range. I shouldn't say really good, but it's pretty good for a light normal. And then at any range where it works, it'll combo into stand short, which is really, really awesome. That's one of her main combos, to be honest. And then that little combo can just confirm very easily into medium DP. And that's honestly your best way of stopping people from trying to fuck with your walking. If you're trying to walk all the way in and someone tries to snipe you before you get all the way in. If you just walk most of the way and then jab, you can very easily, like that's a plus on block jab. And if it happens to hit, you can very easily just do a stand short on reaction and then combo from there. And it works at a really good range, and it does okay damage. Not the greatest Oki in the world, but it's good enough. Medium DP has okay Oki. After, what is it? What is it after forward dash? So I'm this far away and I'm +6. It's very respectable in my opinion. You can do like a dash and then a little bit of walking and then pressure them, continue to pressure them. It's still your turn, basically. Let's see here. What else does it do? Well, it's in terms of, her crouch jab is 3 frames, and this one's 4. So between the two of these, you'd rather do, they chain into each other too. The stand jab has more range, and it's +4, whereas the crouch jab is only +3. So if you're trying to do crouch jab combos, you've basically got to do 2 crouch jabs into a DP, and that works, I just missed it. And medium DP, always, for normal combos. But she can actually put together a 3-hit light normal string with the crouch jab, stand short, but you've got to be really close for that. You've got to be pretty much point blank. But it's like a good combo in certain contexts, like after a crush counter roundhouse, if you're pretty close, you can do the dash in and get all 3. And it's really good for blowing up certain sequences. Like if the opponent's like neutral, like if you both land at the same time next to each other, or if the opponent's -2 or something like that, it's not a bad little sequence to go for. If they're -2, you could probably do something better. You could probably do stand strong. But she does have a 3-hit light normal confirm, but it does require you to basically be point blank. And if you get the counter hit on the second one, that's a frame trap, but it's a really quick frame trap, so most people aren't going to tech. If you get the counter hit on that second jab, you don't get anything super interesting. You might get a low forward. I don't actually know if you get a low forward or not. I don't think you do, because it's +4 and this is 7. And I don't think you get stand strong or anything. You might get low strong. I'm actually just going to test right now. That was not the sequence. Is that a true... Yeah, that's a true block string, isn't it? Because it chains. So I have to manually... Yeah. Well, I guess you could theoretically get a little combo out of that, but have fun. Anyway, low short is actually really good range for a low short. Unfortunately, your only combo route is crouch jab, and crouch jab doesn't have the greatest range in the world. So it's a little bit... The range of that low short is deceptively not useful. If you get that little sequence, you can get the medium DP. Unfortunately, there's no way to go from crouch short to stand jab, or crouch short to stand short. There's no way to do that, because she's got to go crouch jab to stand jab to get that chain. She can't do the chain into stand jab. And then, you know, this is only +3, so you need to go straight to a medium, a 3-frame normal. So you can't do that, you just fall out, you're too far away. So if you're doing an actual confirm from a low, it's got to be crouch short, crouch jab into medium DP. And then if you're doing just light normal confirms in general, it's usually going to be those two, stand jab, stand short, but maybe if you're close range, you can do crouch jab, stand short. Stand short is -1 on hit, and probably a little worse on block, -2 on block. So it's basically standalone. It's a combo ender. It's a combo, like, it's the second part. It's the second normal of combos. It's never the first normal of combos. It's the thing you're going into. Mediums. Stand strong. It's basically like Chun-Li stand strong. It's plus quite a lot. You can combo into her low forward. It's +7. And you can also combo into her back fierce. Both of those are insanely useful. They are the main combo routes for Sakura. The range is shit. It's really, really bad. It's, like, really bad. It's +3 on block, which is really nice. +3 is a whole lot. So if you do on block, if you do stand strong into crouch strong, that's actually this is a 6-frame normal, and this is +3. So that's actually a 3-frame frame trap. And this is a medium, so it won't trade with lights. So even if they do reverse the light, it'll just win. But be aware that if you do stand strong into low forward, that's actually a 4-frame trap. So if they've got a 3-frame normal, they can meet you. So like Chun-Li doing reversal low short will break this sequence. And same with this one. Both back fierce and low forward are 7-frame. So same speed. Don't forget about that. We'll talk about them in a sec. But basically this is her main pressure. It kind of covers itself. You can kind of do stand strong into walk-in, stand strong. That does some nice white damage. You can mix it up with stand strong, walk-in, throw. That's like the core of Sakura's up-close mix-up. But it's a lot of micro-walking. Sakura has to do just a little bit of movement to walk in for that throw. And that basically uses up your 3 frames or whatever. So she can't, like, if they're doing reversal normals, it can be, I don't think you can actually do the walk-in throw and have it grab them. You might be able to. We're gonna find out right now. I think this is reversal 3-frame jab. Yeah, I don't think so. So you really want to be looking for those frame traps if they're even doing stuff like this. Yeah, I got to do more than 2 frames of micro walking. Anyway, it's her main combo route on hit. Like if you get like a jump in or something like that, you're probably going to be doing stand medium punch. Technically speaking, there's a marginally more optimal thing, but if you're just going for damage, stand strong into back fierce is her main linking normal for damage, and then from there you go into hard DP. And then if you're a little bit further away, you can actually get the back fierce on the first frame. If it hits on the second frame, it only works by 1 frame. So if the back fierce hits on the second frame, it won't combo. But from those ranges, you can just do low forward, and that works. And a really, really obvious time for that is this combo right here. Crouch jab, stand strong as a counter hit, or stand jab, stand strong, take your pick. They're both like the same, basically. From this range, you'll never be in range for a back fierce. It'll always be the second frame back fierce. However, you are still in range for a crouch forward. So that would be a good example of a time that you're frequently in range for. It's a time where you have to pick up the low forward combo. The ender's the same. It's hard DP from both. I don't know why I did the combo that I knew didn't work. Hard DP combos from low forward, it combos from back fierce, it combos from all your mediums. Yeah, that's good. Stand strong. So stand strong can be used to frame trap into like low strong, into then fireball or something like that. It can be used to frame trap into like a Tatsu combo. That doesn't confirm in and of itself, and this doesn't have a combo, so you've got to do safe stuff. Got to go into something safe. Let me set my meter to recovery. You can also frame trap into it. Crouch jab, stand strong. Can I get him an all block? That's +1. This is 5, so that's a 4-frame frame trap. That's +2, and that's 5, so that's a 3-frame frame trap. And again, any 3-frame frame trap into a medium beats all 3-frame normals because all 3-frame normals are lights. So this is a frame trap against every reversal in the game, excluding invincible reversals or armored reversals. If you need something just a little bit faster, you've got to use a light. This is like as tight as you can make it. But that's like a good little frame trap that catches people taking buttons. And then if you get that counter hit, staying strong. If they block the first hit and then do a reversal normal, let me do a 3-frame jab. Yeah, if they do a reversal normal, you get the counter hit, stand strong, and the counter hit, stand strong. You can do some cool stuff. You'd probably just do. I don't know why I did that. You probably just do a hard DP still. It's probably your best general thing to do. Same as Ender. But you can also do Stand Fierce, which is kind of cool. Stand Strong counter hit leads to Stand Fierce. And then Stand Fierce works from pretty far away, so it does the damage of Back Fierce, but it actually works in this context because it goes further. It's like 9-frame startup, I think, so it's a 1-frame link in this context. And it can go into hard Tatsu if you want. I don't know why it didn't work there. I thought that worked. Maybe I missed the cancel. Maybe Ryu. Maybe Ryu's wacky. Maybe I've been usually getting it on crouching opponents. Tell you what, do hard DP there. What else? Let me think. So you can frame trap into it and you can frame trap out of it, and it's like her punish combo normal too. So it's like pretty much one of her best buttons, and it's +3 on block, which is cool. But that range, just be really aware of that range. Low strong, I guess it's a good counter poke. I haven't really been using it that much. It is 6-frame startup, which is, you know, a rather important number. Most of Sakura's stuff either doesn't do good damage or doesn't go far. This is something that goes far and doesn't do good damage. This is something that does good damage but doesn't go far. Or that. So this is like a nice little, like, if you're trying to punish a blocked overhead, most overheads are -6, and this is a 6-frame button that has at least a little bit of range, whereas her only 5-frame button has no range at all, and all the other mediums are slower, and heavies. So if you want to punish something that's -6, this would probably actually be your best way around it, and then you can just go into hard DP from there. But given that context of punishing an overhead, maybe I'd probably play it safe and just cancel into a Tatsu or something. Let me see here. It is good to frame trap into because it's 6, so Stand Strong, Real Strong is a 3-frame trap. Don't forget about that if you're fighting Chun-Li or something, and she's got like a 3-frame reversal low short. Let me think. I don't know. It's good for empty cancels. Sakura's empty cancels are really nice because DP goes really far. I can just do like a buffered DP in a button very easily, and if one of them happens to hit, if I counter poke something, the DP will combo at pretty much any range. So, quite reliable there. That's one of Sakura's strengths. That also goes for EX Tatsu if you want to land EX Tatsu, and EX Tatsu is also safe, so very low risk associated with that and decently high reward. 168 plus good corner carry. I think that's fine. Stand forward. I've been told that you can get some nice V-trigger cancels from this, and it seems to be an okay poke, but it's not. It looks like it would be a nice anti-air. It's kind of not. It's kind of like it tends to trade or lose in my experience. It's got a decently high hitbox, so you can hit it early and get a counter hit. But you know, I've got Ryu. My Ryu 1 is a nice, well-timed jump in, and it seems to lose your trade. So I don't really fuck around with this that much. But theoretically, if you V-trigger cancel it, let's just get a look at it. It's plus 13, so theoretically you could do something like that. Work at all ranges, and then if you're close, you could do something like that. Depends on how far away you are. If you're doing it like this, you're probably doing it from like a far away context, and that doesn't even work at all ranges. Let me think. What would she actually do here? I don't think you can combo into. There you go, like that. That wouldn't work if you hit a poke with it, though. If you like beat someone else's poke with that. But linking into Tatsu is pretty cool. I think we can all agree on that. Let me see. I don't know. I don't use that much. Low forward is a really, really good poke. I've been talking about it like a combo ender from like Stand Strong, but actually it's just good anyway. You can just do it, and then you can empty cancel into DPs, or you can cancel it to Tatsus if you just want safe low pressure. A lot of people don't block low in this game, so she can just attack safely with a decently high damage, 104 damage combo from a low. It's basically like Laura, low forward into light elbow. It's like the exact same sequence. Except Sakura's isn't a true block string, so she can theoretically get some counter hits with it. I don't remember if Laura's is a true block string, I feel like it is. But it's like right about the same damage, and it's got the same purpose. There's no combo out of it. It's -2 on block. It's just an attack from a low that does okay damage. I wouldn't spam it though, because if you're really spamming it, the opponent's going to claim up, and being -2 in point blank is kind of shitty if it happens to you often. Good for empty cancels though. Good into hard DP or like EX Tatsu or something like that. Really good into EX Tatsu in general. I've had so much success with that, just doing that poke and then going into EX Tatsu. Also safe on block, leads to pretty good damage, gets a ton of corner carry. Sakura doesn't have a whole lot of uses for meter, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if it's blocked, and it doesn't matter losing the meter, really. V-trigger cancel is really good too. A lot of people don't block low in this game. And if you do low forward into V-trigger at pretty much any range, you can usually, there's certain ranges where you can't. You can have to do, I think, light DP at those ranges. I don't even know if that works for this ism, because I don't know the speed of this ism and the speed at which the first hit of the DP comes out for this trigger. But at most ranges you can combo stand short, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6. I didn't know it was that much. I thought it was plus 5. So you could theoretically do low strong. Stand short goes further though, so you might want to use that. But like up close, you can do low strong. Theoretically, if you're really, really close, you could do something like that. But you know, you're probably not going to be doing this absolutely point blank. What if that goes into back fierce? It does. So if you're doing that meaty, that might be good. Maybe you knock the opponent down in the corner, and then you're like wiggling around in front of them, and then that's your meaty. And then you go stand strong, back fierce. But most of the time, if you're just wiggling around in neutral and you see the opponent walking in, you just fish with that. Stand short into Tatsu. Or, you know, stand short into DP if you're running V-Trigger 1. Would be very good. So it's a good activation. She doesn't have that many ways to activate because she can activate off special moves, and that's probably her best normal to activate off of, although there's a couple others that are worth noting. But that's the best one in general. That's her mediums. Stand heavy punch. Pretty much, you can use it like an empty cancel, but it's a bit slow. The range is okay, it's actually quite good. The speed is quite good. It combos into hard Tatsu, which most of her other heavy normals don't combo into. So, that's kind of cool. Hard Tatsu is safe on block, so it's not a huge deal if it misses a hit in its block, but, you know. You can empty cancel it to DP too. It's useful for that counter hit stand strong, because it gives you heavy damage even if you're not in range for back fierce. So that's like the one context where I'd really recommend using it. Apart from that, it's usually outclassed. If you V-trigger cancel it, I think you're plus enough for another one. I think. Maybe not. How fucking... What's the speed of this normal? It says plus 11. There we go. Okay, I was just hitting it late. So you can do 2 of those. I would probably... It does the same damage as back fierce, so I'd probably do back fierce just because it's faster. But there you go. That's like, you know... Heavy to heavy, so that's like a high damage activation. And it's like, I don't know, what's that on block? Block from Miria, -2, so not too bad. Not a bad normal, but it's usually there's usually other stuff you can do in the context where you can do that. It's not that fast, that's the big issue. Crutch Fierce is technically her highest damage heavy, at a whopping 90 damage, everything else is like 80. Okay, sweep is 92. So that technically makes it optimal for if you're going for non-link combos, and there's one particular non-link combo she does a lot with medium Tatsu. That's damage optimal. But it's her highest damage heavy, which also means that it's the highest damage for going for like a high damage V-trigger activation combo, although those aren't as good as they used to be. Now that we're in Arcade Edition, we have higher scaling. But like if you're going for like a big combo and you see like you jump over a fireball or something like that, and you got your V-trigger and you got all your meter or whatever, Crouch Fierce into Activate would be good. But Crouch Fierce into Activate isn't that good on block. It's only on hit, it's only +7. So, you gotta go into back Fierce. But that ends up doing pretty good damage. Meterless 350 combo from a jump in. I mean, that's okay, that's like only barely higher than her regular damage from a jump in. But it is used in a couple of her combos. It's her main A tier too. I should have said that immediately because that's literally its main purpose. It's a good A tier. It's like a really good A tier. It has no upper body hitbox. It's not super duper wide. It's like wide enough. It gets the job done. But if they're really close to you, you might fail to snipe them. So what you really want to do is either, if you're kind of close, you want to walk back a little bit and Crouch Fierce, which I wasn't super efficient on. Or if you're even closer than that, you might want to walk forward and Crouch Fierce, but that can be a little inconsistent. You got to be really ready for that. So it's a little dead zone where it doesn't work, and you want to just like move as soon as you see it. Yeah, going into Tatsu combos, it's damage optimal. I'll talk about them when I talk about medium Tatsu. Let me see. What else does it do? I think that's pretty much it. Main starter into V-trigger if for damage, main anti-air, and then damage optimal starter for Tatsu stuff. Stairman House. No, Back Fierce. And we'll get to that. Stairman House. Stairman House, it's a poke. It's basically exactly like her Street Fighter 4 Stairman House, except adjusted for this game, so it's slower. It still has good range. It's one of her two normals with good range along with this thing. The range is slightly better. I guess Sweep has decent range too. It's very easy to hit this button a lot, but it's actually it's slower than it looks. That pivot, it has a long block stun, but that pivot is on whiff, it's deceptively long. The opponent can jump in on that pivot. I've had a lot of people jump in on my Stairman House, so it's weak to jumps. If you're just fishing for it in neutral, so you got to be really aware of that. You can't just like hit it like crazy, but it is quite rewarding. It like tends to beat other attacks. Ooh, an invitation. It has good range, and then it's a crush counter. So if you get that crush counter, you get a nice spin stun. If you're close, you can do walk-ins, Back Fierce, I think, but it's kind of hard to do. You can also do walk-in Stand Fierce, which is about as hard. Back Fierce is faster, but you've got to walk in more. Stand Fierce is slower, but you've got to walk in less. So pick your poison. If you're far, which is how you're usually going to be landing this as a crush counter, you actually have time for a dash-in, and from that dash-in you can combo a few things. If you're absolutely max range, like if you're interacting with a poke, you can still do dash-in, stand short, always, and then you can go into medium DP from there. If you're, like, at most ranges, you can combo into stand jab and then stand short, and then that, you know, gives you the confirm. It's a frame-perfect dash into jab, which is not that hard to do, but it's nice to have a confirm after that. So if you get to do jab into short, that gives you a confirm after the dash. So you can still, if you miss the jab, you can decide that you can see that you missed the jab and then not do the DP. So it's nice to have that little insurance. If you're kind of close, you can actually do the 3-hit light combo. The damage for all three is like almost the same. That was the 3-hit and that was 225. That was 2-hit and that was 226. Nice me. I blame my hands. That was 211. So if you could do 2 jabs, that's probably what you want to do. The one exception is if you're in V-trigger 2, you really only want one light normal, so you'd probably do dash in into stand short into Tatsu. That would be your optimal. Because you really don't want any scaling more than you have. Because this combo leads to quite a lot of damage. But like that's basically roundhouse into stand jab, stand short into medium DP is your main one. And then if you're in V-trigger 2, it's roundhouse into dash and stand short. That'd be the combos you go for. Let me see. Basically nothing else about that move. The sweep is, I don't know, it's a sweep. If you block a sweep, you can do a sweep of your own. Startup isn't amazing, the range is okay. Catches people who are blocking. It's not bad into V-trigger. I don't have that much to say about any character sweep into V-trigger. It's all the same. If you get the crush counter, cool. You can maybe go for a setup of some variety. Sakura has okay setups with her fireball. She can do like crush counter sweep into trigger, and then start charging a fireball if it's a crush counter. So they don't want quick stand, and then you can do the V-skill from the fireball. I'll talk about that when I talk about the fireball. But she's got some shenanigans, so it's not a bad activate, and it does have good range, so if you really, really want to get activated as soon as possible, that's a pretty safe way to do it. But there's no combo or anything, since it knocks down. Let me think. I guess we're on to command normals now, right? I think I hit them all. This is a command normal, towards medium kick. It's an overhead. Goes really far. Overheads are kind of shit in this game. Maybe you can use this one. It's really easy to space, but it is -6 on block. +2 on hit, though. I guess that technically means it's +4 on counter hit. +3 on counter hit. Disappointing. So I guess technically you can do a crouch jab there. Have fun landing that in a match. You can do it meaty, I guess. And if you get a meaty one, it's probably plus a little more. But have fun doing that in a match. I would basically only use this to close out rounds. Maybe like if you if you have some kind of pressure in the corner and then you get like some kind of neutral jump thing and then use the neutral jump to cover your overhead, sneak it in. Something like that. Catch it on someone who's like holding down back. But really, I don't know. I probably wouldn't fuck around with this move too much. Let me see. Back Fierce, I guess. I've been talking about this move in terms of combos. It is kind of bad on block. It's -7, so you probably don't want to throw it out willy-nilly, or if you throw it out, you want to cancel it. Really good example of a cancel is into Tatsu. Basically makes any attack. It's a 2-block string for this one. Makes any attack -2. So -2 is a lot better than -7. But there is one kind of interesting thing about this back fierce, and that it's a crush counter too. And believe it or not, even though this is a spin stun and this is a launch, Sakura actually usually gets higher damage off of the launch than the spin stun. In most characters, it's the other way around. So it cancels, and if you get the cancel, you can go into Tengyo Hadoken, and then from there you can combo into a DP. There's actually a few things you can do, but hard DP is the general one. I missed it. There you go. 282. Respectable damage. You can do that fairly easily. There's not a whole lot of difficulty to that combo at all. You just hold the fireball as long as possible. You don't have to time the release or anything. And then the hard DP is also as early as possible. So, you know, just do things fast. And that can go to super if you want to. What else? If you're just fishing for it neutral, and you're doing like back fierce into light Tatsu, and you happen to get the back fierce, the light Tatsu whiffs, and what's kind of interesting is Sakura can still pick up a combo here. She can go light DP, and she can cancel that to super if she wants to. And she can also go into EX DP. So you've got 1 bar, 3 bars, and 0 bars. And that actually still works point blank, but Sakura will change sides. But it still works. So you've got to be aware of that if you're landing at point blank. But you're probably not going to be doing like back fierce point blank. You probably do like stand strong in that context, and then back fierce from that, if anything. But it does have some combo routes. Her combos from crush counter back fierce actually change depending on which V trigger she's running and whether she's in V trigger. So you got to be really aware of that. Like if I'm in V trigger 2, not a combo. But I think you can do this. Alright, that doesn't work either. Wait, what actually is the ender here? Oh, I think you just don't do anything, do you? I think you just go straight to Tatsu. Yeah. There might be something slightly more optimal than that. I might need to fiddle around with that one. Maybe it's back fierce with a straight fireball. And then Tatsu. That might be it. Thought there was a route there. Is there a dash? That wasn't a dash. I don't think I'd have time to dash there. Yeah, if I were you, I would just do the Tatsu. Just go straight to Tatsu. For V-Trigger 1, it's actually pretty impressive. She actually gets nice damage here. She gets charged up fireballs, like superpower fireballs for V-Trigger 1. So this part does more damage and launches a little bit higher. And then from there, you can do hard Tatsu. And then light DP from that. That ends up doing pretty nice damage. Very respectable for a crush counter. And then that DP can go into super if you want. In fact, you might be able to... No, I don't know. I think you've got to do the DP then the super. I don't think you can do the super raw. But that actually ends up doing a ton. Let me try the super raw. Neat. It worked. That's a real combo you can land in a match. Anyway, that's like stuff you might want to do from a crush counter. But just for the record, let's get some damage here. Nice micro walk. That was 264. And this is... Oh, this is probably a really stupid combo, isn't it? I'm ready. I'm ready for a really stupid combo. Oh, it's that back fierce anti-air. Yeah. That needs a mid-air connect, unfortunately. I love that shit. That's a really cool combo. But it's it depends on the crush counter situation. You can't do that off of like Chun-Li, but you can do it off of like Ryu can. I guess I should show that off. I don't know. It's not like it is technically optimal. If you block a DP and you get the mid-air connect, you actually have time to charge and then get the V-skill cancel. And there's a few different things that you can do from that, depending on which trigger you're running. But that's like, you get more damage. That was 273 I just got. That uses the straight fireball, which is the only one you can V-trigger cancel. I mean, V-skill cancel. It's a little bit hard to time. kind of cool though. Does that work with kick? I thought it didn't. Anyway, where was I? That's pretty much it for back fierce. Oh, the dive kick. I thought you meant the Tengyo Hadoken. Let me think. This looks like it would anti-air really well, and it kind of does, but it doesn't. She moves really far forward and doesn't have invincible upper body, so it does have a tall hitbox, so you can get counter hits with it, but you have to be aware that like a lot of the ranges where people will jump, she'll, instead of anti-airing them, just move under them and look really stupid. And you won't actually get an anti-air, but there are certain things it's really good at, sniping, that like other stuff won't snipe. And if you get the anti-air with it, it will get a counter hit. Like it doesn't need the first hit frame connect to get the counter hit pop up. So it causes a crush counter launches, which is pretty nice, and then you can do really cool stuff from there. You can do the Tengyo Hadoken or whatever. But that's like, I don't know. If the opponent times their jump well, that's really hard to do. It's very precise. Because it doesn't have upper body invincibility. So it's maybe good on some characters, but most characters it's not going to do a whole lot. There you go. It's a nice anti-air combo from Sakura. But usually Crouch Fierce is preferred because it doesn't have that upper body, and they end up having like the same range anyway. Let me see. That's pretty much it though. It's the main combo route from Stand Strong, if you can help it. Does the best damage. I guess it's good for empty cancels. You can empty cancel it into like, I don't know, it's got kind of long duration, but you can empty cancel it into light Tatsu, and then if you get the counter hit, if you don't get the counter hit, it just combos. And if you do get the counter hit, you get a whiff Tatsu into a light DP, and it ends up doing, you know, pretty good damage too. And it's safe, so you can just do that. You can actually do that as part of like a frame trap, like that all. That's a 4-frame trap, and it's a range where most light normals won't hit. So like, let's say I have Ryu doing reversal, 4-frame, stand jab, stand short, right? Okay, this is actually fine. See that? He's doing reversal, stand short. That's a 4-frame button. So like something like that. That's a safe back fierce at that range. And it's like a frame trap against 4-frame normals, and most attacks won't even hit from that range. And then if it gets the crush counter. If Ryu just blocks the whole thing, I'm -2 and I'm up close again. Or not up close, but I'm like moderately close. And if he hits a button, then I counter hit him and I get a nice combo. See, that's like, this is like kind of close, but it's not quite like all the way up in their ass. Which means that you're going to have an easier time walking out. It doesn't seem like it'd make a big difference, but it does. You'd much rather be here than here if you're -2. It also affects what the opponent can go for. Like if they go for like, if I was like there, and Ryu did like stand, jab into stand strong, and stand strong would probably whiff. Whereas if he did it from here, it would probably hit. So, you know, it makes a world of difference to be not point blank when you're -2, and that's a combo that leaves you not point blank, so it's nice. But it's good as an empty cancel. It's your main combo route. It's a crush counter, so it's used for her crush counter punishes. That's about it, I think. It's relatively fast, so it's used for a lot of her V-trigger activate combos. Oh, if you V-trigger cancel it, it's plus, like, I forget, like 13 or something, 11, 13. So, it's not bad as an activate. And that gives you Stand Fierce. So that's like a good little V-trigger activate combo. That's probably your best V-trigger activate combo, to be honest. Something like that. Oh, I'm V-trigger 1, that's right. So I'd probably go into Fireball. There you go. Nice V-trigger 1 combo. That would probably be a waste of a Fireball. I'd probably just do a DP. Probably do DP, hard DP. There you go. Nice combo. Good example of a Sakura activate combo. Let me see here. What else? Do we have another command normal? This guy. Alright, so a lot of people, this is like the most common question I get from aspiring Sakura players. They're like, what the hell does this normal do? It looks like it'd be a really good anti-air. It's kind of not. Doesn't have upper body invincibility, and it's also not that fast. So you'd rather hit like any other button than this. It's got great frame advantage. That's like the big thing. On block, it's like +2. So it's a frame trap into, let's say, stand strong, and actually you will be close enough for a stand strong. It like leaves you really close. It's got basically no pushback. So stand strong actually, like you don't need to move to get stand strong after that. And that's a 3-frame frame trap. and a lot of people hit buttons there. What's more, you can actually do low forward from there. So like this entire, like that's a pretty good sequence. That's a 3-frame frame trap, and then the low forward is a 4-frame frame trap. But most 4-frame normals won't hit that low forward because most 4-frame normals are lights, and most lights won't go that far to cover this gap. Most light normals will not cover the distance between these two characters. It would need to be a 3-frame normal to interrupt that sequence, actually. Anyway, it's good on block, so it's not a bad meaty, and it gets extra plus frames if it's meaty. I have them set to quick stand, but you can get it like plus. It's got like reactive frames or something like that, so you can get it to be like plus 5 or something. I think. Maybe not. That looked pretty active. That was plus 3. Okay, whatever. You can get extra frames. And then on hit, yeah. Oh yeah, does it? Can you grab after it? Yeah, you can. No moving required to grab. That's a big deal. I should have mentioned that immediately. If you're point blank, you can go straight for that toss on hit or block. I think. Alright, maybe there's a trick to this. Maybe I wasn't point blank. Maybe there's a little bit of extra movement. Let me see. Let me try on block. Maybe not. Yeah. Alright, 1-frame micro walk. It's alright, you got plus 2, so the chances of that working are okay, but still it sucks that you have to move. I instinctively walk there, so I'm glad to know that I haven't been fucking up. On hit, it's plus 3. Behold, you get a link into crutch jab. That would be your default ender. If it's meaty, you get like a stand jab into a stand short, so I would just always go for the crutch jab. I'd rather not have to worry about that, like whether I got the extra frame or not. Maybe you could get stand strong from it if it was really meaty. On counter hit, it gets stand strong always, and then that whole thing is a combo, which is pretty awesome. That ends up being like a super good sequence. So this is like a really, really good meaty sequence if they don't quick stand or something like that. And a lot of people do not respect this button. They see this button and they're like, oh, I'm gonna hit him. That looks unsafe. Or at least that looks minus. Everyone's like, that looks minus. So in my experience, this stand strong almost always works. And if that stand strong works, you get, you know, combos. That would work on first blocked hit. I guess like this. Okay, maybe it doesn't work. I'll just go into low forward. Don't fuck around. Phew. That's the combo I've been using, and it's pretty good. Do we have another command normal somewhere? I'm like racking my brain. I think that's all of them. Where's my command list? No, that's it. Oh, what is it on V-trigger? It like doesn't matter. Plus 18. So maybe you could do another one? I don't know the startup of this thing. It's pretty slow. This is counter hit. So let me turn it off counter hit. Plus 16. Alright, that worked. So maybe, but that's only plus 3 at the end of that. So you probably wouldn't do that. You'd probably just do something with the fierces. So don't even fuck around with that. Let me think. Alright, normals, air normals. Jump jab. It's fast. It's got a decent hitbox. I like it as an ATR against certain things like dive kicks, or like as a close range ATR. It's bigger than it looks. It's a lot bigger than it looks. It doesn't instant overhead or anything though. I like this normal a lot. I've been using it. Jump short is a cross up, but it's got less hit stun than her jump forward, which is also a cross up. So if you want just like a little tiny tap and then straight to a throw or something like that, it'll cover your jump, but then like they'll have to take a throw earlier than normal, and they might not be ready for that. Or like, you know, it might set you up for a frame trap a little better, but it's got less hit stun, does less damage, so stand forward is usually what you're going to be using. Jump forward, usually what you're going to be doing for your cross-ups. But those two are just her two cross-up air normals. Jump short and jump forward. Not much to say about them. They both have bad hitboxes, if you didn't know. All the air hitboxes of cross-ups got nerfed, and Sakura's came right out the gate bad. And then all the hitboxes of heavies are good, and Sakura's came out the gate good. So if they're doing ATR jabs, they might be able to ATR your jump forward. But if they're doing ATR jabs, they won't be able to ATR your jump fierce or your jump roundhouse. Yeah, I got it too. So those are good. Those are useful. Jump fierce and jump roundhouse are pretty much interchangeable. One of them is better against lights, but I don't remember which. in my experience, they've both been doing pretty well. They're hard to beat. They do like the same damage and the same stun, and they have similar hitboxes. So I've just been using Jump Roundhouse, but it's got more range. But maybe there's a trick to Jump Fierce that it's better against anti-air lights. It might be, but usually Jump Roundhouse gets the job done. Really good range, really good damage. So like, you know, not much to say. It's like her best air normal probably. And then Jump Strong is a really interesting one. It causes a float state. Behold. Not only that, but it causes a float state and cancels. So, technically speaking, if the opponent's going for some kind of up-close anti-air against you, I mean up-close jump, and your Crouch Fierce isn't going to be too good at that range, I was like at the absolute limit, you could maybe Jump Strong, and then Tatsu. Maybe not from a back jump. I was a little optimistic about that working. But that's like not a bad anti-air. Or like just if you're like, you know, if you just want to get a little bit extra damage. That does more damage than an anti-air Crouch Fierce anyway. If you're getting it on the way up, then you're not going to have a juggle on the way down. But if you just get it in an air-to-air scenario, you can come down and then come down with a combo. Best ender is probably jab DP, because even if it whiffs, it's not too bad, and it's got 4-frame startup, so you'll probably get the juggle. But technically speaking, if you get them with a really high connect, you can go into Light Tatsu, and if you get Light Tatsu, then you can do Light DP from there. And that does pretty good damage. Light Tatsu like always combos into Light DP, so you don't have to worry about that falling out for being too low. But that's like it's a nice little normal for... Oh, I didn't even mention. This is worth mentioning. This is something worth seeing. Behold! The best anti-air in the game. What up? Sakura has an air throw. 3-frame startup, or 5, I don't know, one of the two. And it swaps sides, so it's really nice if they're jumping at you, especially from up close. Really, really good success rate if they jump in from close. Usually people jump in with their attacks from close. They're not attacking at the height of their jump, because that's like suicidal. She could hit them on the way down with like jabs or stuff. And like most cross-ups don't have great hitboxes, so like people hit them late. Or even if you air throw, like it's not too bad. But jump hack air throw, it'll get you out of the corner if you're in the corner. And it's a really good up-close anti-air. So the ranges where Crouch Fierce doesn't work, just because it's too close. Jump back air throw becomes her main anti-air. And it does a knockdown, it does good damage, so it's like not bad anyway. But she has an air throw, and that's kind of cool. Let me see. That's pretty much it for her air options. She does have air Tatsu, but it's really not worth mentioning at all. In most contexts, the only time it's really useful at all, from what I can tell, is as a cancel from Jump Strong. It does alter her jump arc, so it can kind of put you in places where people won't expect you to be, and like 1 time out of 100, that's useful. Can you get jab DP after jump stand like kick or stand medium jumpst into Tatsu in the corner? Yes, I understood that question, even though it was phrased kind of weird. It doesn't matter about the corner. If the opponent gets hit by that Light Tatsu, they'll be really low, and their the Light DP will still work. Even if they get hit high, that Light DP will still work. I'm being kind of optimistic about landing this, doing it. Let me just do it early. This still works. Anyway, where were we? That's all our air normals. I guess we talk about our specials now. Hadoken. Good old Hadoken. They sped up the recovery, I think, a little bit. Or I don't know if they sped it up or if just Hadoken reverse, fireballs in general got worse in Street Fighter V. But it's more in line with other Shotos now. It does still fade away, but it's not like a huge commit or anything. You probably won't get jumped in on, or like you have the same chance of getting jumped in on that Ryu does. It's not great on block, but what fireballs are. Let me get him holding... Oh, what do I plot the CPU right now? -8, so don't do it like a retard from point blank. That being said, it's fairly easy to get a little sequence of block string where the fireball is safe, and the opponent can't usually jump out of this kind of stuff. So like that sequence is a really good sequence for Sakura, and it gives you a -1 fireball. But what's really nice, this is what makes this fireball actually a good fireball, not a bad one, is that you can charge it, which I immediately didn't do. And the charged fireball will not dissipate, or if it does dissipate, it dissipates way later. Looks like it doesn't. It causes a knockdown, which you can combo from, by the way. And it also, it's 2 hits, which means it beats anything that relies on armor to go through fireballs. For example, let's say a Laura EX elbow. That being said, a Laura player will probably just elbow you while you're charging. It's got a really good hitbox, the big fireball. It actually, like, it's bigger than it looks. I've seen a lot of people try neutral jump hit and lane on it, and then you get a juggle into, like, stuff. You can actually, if you're point blank, you can get a Tatsu, and then a DP from there. It's basically Gal's V-skill. It takes about as much time to charge as Gal's V-skill into Fireball, and it's slow, and you can follow it in, like Gal's V-skill into Fireball. It's basically Gal's V-skill into Fireball. The only difference is that Gal can do the V-skill and then not throw the Fireball, so he can still anti-air. But Sakura can't stop. She can't cancel her Fireball in anti-air. So, you can't just charge it willy-nilly from close. Well, you can, because people tend to wait for you to just release it. So that's actually pretty free. That tends to work. But they can hold up forward as soon as they see it. But if you're like far away, it's actually really, really obnoxious to charge a light fireball and then follow it in. It's actually really hard to do anything about that as like 90% of the cast. Because if you try and jump over the fireball, she can anti-air you with like Crush Fierce. If you try and jump up on the fireball, she can anti-air you with like a light DP. If you try and jump back, you're not actually getting all the way the fireball. If you block the fireball, she gets a mix-up on you, or at least she gets point blank with frame advantage. And if the fireball hits, she gets a combo. So, like, overall, charging that fireball and following it is extremely obnoxious. And there's one other little quirk to it. If it's a charged fireball, and only if it's charged, she can cancel it to V-skill. And if they're going to jump over the fireball, which a lot of people tend to do, this V-skill is suicide, because Sakura can't actually do anything to an airborne opponent while she's jumping. So if it's like Ryu or whatever, if he can just hit me with Jump Roundhouse, or he could potentially hit me with Jump Strong and fuck my day. But this is something you do if you see that they're just trying to block the fireball, which most people will try and block this fireball. If you do it from a range, it's basically useless. It doesn't do anything. You'd rather just follow that in on the ground. But where this really shines is if you're doing like block strings into the fireball, and then get the fireball like this. If they block that, and then you V-skill cancel it, you get a little mix-up. I guess I should talk about like what her V-skill does. What am I doing? Like that. So that's an overhead. So they have to block it high. And that's a grab, which it punishes high block. So she gets like a 50-50. And then if they try and jump out, the overhead also hits like jumps and stuff. She's like plus frames, and the plus frames cover her air approach, so the opponent doesn't really have a good thing to do here. And it's safe. So overall, a really strong little sequence. If she actually gets the opponent to block that fireball, she gets a 50-50 on them. Technically speaking, they can still anti-air it. There's a window. But a lot of characters' anti-airs don't really work well in that context, especially depending on the range. So you'll have like decent success with that little mix-up. If you can actually charge the fireball, it ends up being really strong. But this requires charging a fireball from pretty close, so that entire sequence either requires a crush counter sweep, or like just you reacting to no quick stand, or it requires people respecting fireball, which is something you have to train them to do. Let me see. Is there anything else to this fireball? I mean, there's an EX one. EX is always safe. It's always +1. In the corner, it actually leads to a juggle state. In fact, it might lead to a juggle state mid-screen. Now I think about it, it does. You probably won't get that ever because it requires point blank. But in the corner, you'll get it frequently. So that's a combo route you can do. I guess I picked maybe not the best combo. She's got marginally better stuff you can do, but the really big thing about that combo is that you can't, it's plus. So if you just do low 40x fireball, that's +1 on hit, and it's, I mean, +1 on block, and it leads to a combo on hit. And her EX Tatsu has similar stuff, but her EX Tatsu is actually minus on block. So this is easier for fishing, but it does a little bit less damage. But it's kind of cool. You can use it for corner abuse. It's really, really good. Sakura gets good abuse out of the corner. What else about EX Fireball? Is there like anything else about it? Oh, I haven't been shown this, but her crush counter combo off of Back Fierce. You can actually charge an EX Fireball there. So the meterless combo I was doing... Well, I should just talk about Tengo. Tengo Fireball is like... It looks like it would be a really good anti-air, right? It's the angle. The angle is maybe not so good. Not a good angle. So if the opponent, if I like throw this charge just on Ryu and Ryu jumped over it as soon as he saw me charging, there's a good chance that he would jump over the fireball before it would hit him. I could release it a little early, but you know, charging the Tengyo, it's not a good idea in general. Sakura telegraphs which way she's throwing the fireball if you just look at her face. Her pose is different depending on where she's throwing the fireball, and it's not that hard to react to if you fought Sakura even a little bit. So charging the fireball upwards right here is really bad. Tengyo Hadoken, for the most part, just seems to be good for crush counter combos. Anyway, the combo I was doing was that, into hard DP. But if you wanted to do an EX combo, you could actually do like a into EX Tengyo, and then I forget the combo route from there. It's like, is it hard Tatsu? I think it's hard Tatsu. It might be micro walk hard Tatsu or something. Alright, hold on, I gotta think about this, it's been a while. I usually, if it's, hold on. Let me reflect. Let me reflect on this combo. I mean, even the into hard DP does more damage than normal. Dude, what the hell's the combo here? Maybe she doesn't, maybe I'm just misremembering and she doesn't have a good combo route from EX. EX works. I mean, straight fireball works. Let me try that. Okay, never mind, it doesn't work from point blank. It does, I don't remember what I wrote down. Alright, just do meterless combos here. I don't even think, where do you put the EX in this combo? Because this EX DP doesn't work here, does it? Oh, it does. Alright, do that instead. Take it back. Always do only do Tengyo Hadoken in those kinds of combos. In crush counter combos. Don't fuck around with Tengyo Hadoken and footsies, it's just not that good. You can't cancel to V skill even if you fully charge it. And then it does hit grounded opponents, but the frame data is not great. That's -4 on hit. Charge 1 is a knockdown. Charge 1 is probably safe, I think. Probably. Don't do this. This is just a bad idea. Don't do this. What else? Whatever. That's Tengyo Hadoken, that's regular Hadoken. I don't think there's anything more to them. I probably wouldn't fuck around with EX Tengyo at all. I think there's something that it does. I know there's stuff that it does in V-Trigger 1. What's my next special move? Tatsu, I guess? Let's talk about Tatsu. So light Tatsu, no combo routes, but very obnoxious. It's just, it combos from anything. I should say it combos from mediums. So if you want to just like be annoying and just do sequences and you don't care if they hit or block, that'll keep you in. Being -2 at this range is not that bad. And then, you know, you do chip damage. It's like not a bad situation for you to just like mindlessly cancel to light Tatsu. So as safe moves goes, there aren't that many safe moves in the game, and the fact that this is safe is already pretty nice. Technically speaking, it's not a true block string from low forward. It is a true block string from heavies. So if they happen to get counter hit by the second hit, which is something that I've actually had happen quite a few times. Let's say I'm like here. You can actually link out of it on counter hit. It's +3. So if you happen to see that, if you see that thing, it depends on your range, but that's a range you're at a lot. If you do stand strong low forward. If you get the counter hit at that range, you can combo the clutch jab, and then you can get a knockdown, and that ends up looking. You look like a baller when you get that in a match. But technically it has a combo on counter hit, and it's not a true block string, so you can get those counter hits if people are dumb and they mash, which they are and they do. Apart from that, it's probably the most useless Tatsu, although it is really, really annoying. It's probably better than hard Tatsu. I don't know. They're all useful. I don't know. Calling light Tatsu is maybe the most useful one. It depends. It depends on what your metric is. Hard Tatsu goes over fireballs, but the slot up is aids. It's also safe on block. It's not in a fireball war. It's not horrible to just do a hard Tatsu and pray it works. It gets the fireball invincibility kind of quickly, but not instantly. So you've got a good chance of getting hit out of it if they throw a fireball and you weren't fast enough. It's used in some juggles too, but yeah, there you go. That's like me. That's me trying to get hit. That's like the last. As soon as it becomes airborne, you pretty much become fireball invincible. I guess I should click this link if this is something relevant. Oh, look, my guide. It's me. It's my tutorial. Yeah, that's the one with the micro walk. That combo's AIDS. That's the 2-bar. So technically you can combo a hard Tatsu there. I thought it worked, but I forgot that it required a micro walk, but I kind of considered it in my head, but I don't want to recommend anything that requires micro walks in situations like that, especially not to beginners picking up a character. Anyway, hard Tatsu, it's fireball immune, so maybe you can spam it in Fireball Wars. It is -2, and it does leave you pretty much definitively point blank. If it's on hit, for light Tatsu or heavy Tatsu, they're both +2, and they're usually point blank. So after that connect, on hit, you either get an immediate throw, which is really obnoxious because it'll beat any reversal normal, or you can do like Stand Strong, which will also beat any reversal normal, and the defenses against immediate throw and immediate Stand Strong are pretty bad. It's basically only like delayed tech that catch both the techs against both of them, and delayed tech has weaknesses of its own. So Sakura basically has a 3-way mix-up there anytime she hits with a Tatsu, but that depends on the Tatsu. Like if I'm getting like that's not going to give me, I can't even throw here. So hard Tatsu will basically always be point blank, but light Tatsu, it depends on the range. But both of them lead to a +2 scenario. And if you're +2, you can then, oh, it's +1 for light, +2 for medium, I mean for heavy. Well, whatever. Stay Strong is still a good button there, but not as good because reversal 3 from normal speed it. So maybe you'll just do like a, you know, light confirm or something, I don't know. Immediate throw is still okay too. Anyway, hard Tatsu's not too bad to end combos with if you want to leave them on the ground, if you want to leave them close. But it doesn't combo from a lot of stuff. It doesn't combo from back Fierce. It only combos from Stand Fierce and Crouch Fierce. So, oh wait. Okay, never mind, it only combos from Stand Fierce. So don't fuck around with other cancels. Don't do something like this, because it doesn't work. But if you do get that counter hit Stand Strong, you can get that Stand Fierce into that hard Tatsu situationally. And I guess if you wanted to leave the opponent grounded, you want to put them into that blender. A lot of people aren't ready to detect that throw, and even if they are ready to detect that throw, there's a good chance they're going to get hit by either an immediate or delayed Stand Strong. So basically, you can make their life a hell if you do that. But you're already going to mix up off of like hard DP. Like this is already +6 point blank, so like you know you don't really need to do that. You can just end your combos with max damage and then still, and the damage loss is respectable. So let's say I'm doing like a jumping combo into hard Tatsu. So that's like 226, and now let's say I'm doing hard DP. That's already 258, and then you add on the fact that I can do a link into hard DP, and then, you know, then it starts getting a little bit more drastic. So hard Tatsu enders, the success rate is kind of good because people usually aren't ready for that mix-up, but then the fact that you still get the mix-up in the other situation, albeit people are ready for it, and you get a nice damage increase. So you probably usually just complete your combos normally. Medium Tatsu is pretty interesting. It's actually the only unsafe one. On hit, it's +3. On block, it is... what's a attack I can... There you go. On block, it's -6. So don't throw it out willy-nilly. I'm pretty sure it goes over fireballs, but I wouldn't do it to go over fireballs. Would not do. You need to be point blank to even get the combo. So like even if it goes over a fireball, you're not going to get a link out of it. I don't know if it does or not. I would just use hard Tatsu to go over fireballs. Oof. Yeah, don't fuck around with that. I should just recommend stuff I know works instead of talking about things that might work. Anyway, it's +3. So if you do a combo from Crouch Fierce, which is her highest damage normal, it doesn't combo from, or it does combo from back Fierce, but from this range you're too far away for the jab. But if you just do raw Crouch Fierce into medium Tatsu, you're +3 and you're close enough for the jab, and then from there you can get medium DP. And technically speaking, that whole sequence is her highest mid-OS damage at 248 ungrounded. I haven't dropped that in a while. 307, very respectable. 307 from a jump in. How efficient is it to do the down forward hard kick, stand medium punch, back hard punch instead of a back hard punch combo after a DP? I think you need the down medium kick there. But theoretically, let's look at the damage because I'm actually kind of curious. Let's say I do this, and I do that, and I do that. So that's V meter, first of all. I get half a bar of V meter, which is nice. And I get 282. Versus... that was 276. I'd probably stick with the back fierce. You get better everything. So that doesn't work, right? Yeah, don't get first frame connect. Good to check. Anyway, where was I? Medium Tatsu? It's literally only useful for her punish combos. It's because it's unsafe on block, you can't really do anything with it in neutral. You just gotta do, like, if you get a situation where you block something unsafe and you just want to hit it really hard, but you don't have time for a jump in, Crash Fierce into Medium Tatsu, into light punch into medium DP is your main route. And I've been doing that for, like, most stuff that's unsafe. Like if Akuma, like, whiffs a Tatsu over my head, or like any Shoto, I guess. I wait for them to land and I do that combo, and that's, like, optimal. That if you're going into the super, it kind of scales a little bit more than her stand strong back fierce. So if you're going into super, that into hard DP into super will do slightly more damage than that into super. So be aware of that. Be aware that you don't want to do that combo if you're using super. And then this also has better V-trigger conversions because there's basically no place to put a V-trigger in this combo. You can't do V-trigger jab into anything, and you can't cancel either of the special moves into V-trigger. So in general, the stand strong back fierce is better at almost everything. The only thing it's not better at is being a meterless conversion. Oh, you can add in EX DP if you want in that combo. I should have mentioned that. Get a little bit of extra damage. I've done that in times where it mattered. If you're like about to close out the round and you don't know if medium DP is enough, might as well throw that bar in. Let me think. EX Tatsu is one of the best moves in the whole game. Combos from everything except lights. You can't combo it after lights. But I want to check if it combos from stand jab. It combos from all mediums, so if you just do like low strong or low forward and just cancel out the EX Tatsu, it'll like work 90% of the time. The 10% is if you hit a poke and you're really, really far away and you lose the first hit of EX Tatsu. It's great as an empty cancel because it goes really far, but again, it can lose a hit and fall out. But even if it falls out, it's -2 on block, so it's safe. And then the corner carry is ridiculous. Even with quick stand, if I dash twice, I'm on him, okay? I'm literally on top of him, and I'm +4, and I can just hit him with like a 5-frame normal or something like that, okay? So you basically, you get guaranteed Oki on that mid-screen. And that's if they quick stand, okay? But let's say they back roll. Let me see here. Hata. So dash, I'm +6. And is that right? Is that 2 perfect dashes? I've been doing +8, there we go. I've been doing down forward roundhouse here to good success. That's a nice meaty there. So stand strong if they quick stand, back down towards roundhouse if they back roll. And then in the corner, what's kind of cool is if it hits, you get a DP. And that ends up doing quite a lot of damage. In fact, it's damage optimal. So if you want to add 1 bar to a combo, Sakura, I should have said this earlier, but Sakura cannot add damage efficiently to a combo. Because this has no follower mid-screen. This basically has no follower mid-screen. And then this doesn't add significant damage over heavy DP. It's 150 versus I think normal 120. So you don't want to spend a bar for 30 damage most of the time. But in the corner, let's say I'm doing a combo in the corner, here's my max damage meterless combo, right? Approximately, okay? Approximately. Technically I can do the low fierce combo for like 230 some. 228, think of that number. And now check this out. Yay, 298. That's a pretty substantial increase. And by that I mean holy shit, that did a lot of extra damage. And what's really cool is you can actually, on hit, instead of going into light DP, you can choose to go into EX DP. And that's not a bad 2-bar combo. Because the difference between heavy and EX is not substantial, but the difference between light and EX is pretty substantial. So if you want like 2 bars in the corner, 3 bars obviously you'll just do a super combo. But if you want 1 bar in the corner, you do an EX Tatsu combo, and if you want 2 bars in the corner, you do an EX Tatsu into EX DP combo. And these end up doing quite a lot of damage. Sakura gets nice corner abuse. 382 from a jump in. Not bad, not bad. And they're safe on block. So if you're just like, you know, being annoying in the corner, and you're just like, oh, I want to be annoying to Ryu, I can just like do that. I can just do low forward into EX Tatsu, and it's safe on block, and if it hits, I get respectable ender. That ends up being super strong. Good corner abuse. She can also do that with the EX Fireball, as we mentioned. But you've got to be a little bit smarter about your starters, since I just wasn't there. Is there anything else about Tatsus? Not really. She has an EXR Tatsu. I've never had a good opportunity to use that other than after Jump Strong. Air Tatsu as well. Never a good opportunity except after Jump Strong. Don't even mess around with those. It's not like a good dive kick or anything. Whoa, a message on Skype. Let me set myself to busy. Where was I? DP? Could you do the DF HK combo in the corner into EX Tatsu for an efficient 1-par DP punish? Yeah. Actually, that would probably be better overall on a DP punish in the corner. In general, I wasn't even showing that off. You can't combo from lights, so on non-counter hit, no efficient way to go into EX Tatsu. But if you get that counter hit, or if you get a DP punish, let's pretend I'm punishing a DP. What the fuck was that, Beth? There you go, look at that. Might be worth your time to do that instead of your regular ass, because in the corner it can be kind of weird doing that. Thank you. Still worked. Anyway, you can squeeze in a little bit of extra damage there. Oh, I think in the corner you can do... Can you do this? Hold on. Yeah, look at that combo. That combo's cool. That's a corner crush counter combo. I think that works even if you're not quite point blank. So like after I block a DP, I'll probably be like here. It's kind of cool. Cool combo. Anyway, DP, I guess. DP is a good thing to look at. Light DP is probably, I don't know, they all have really different purposes, so it's you'll use all of them a lot. Literally all 4 of her DPs are super useful. The light one has upper body invincibility, which means it actually is a functional anti-air. It's very odd using a light DP as an anti-air, and it's very odd anti-airing with the DP as Sakura, but anti-air light DP as Sakura is actually really good. You got to be aware of its range. It doesn't work like up close naturally because it's got a lot of forward movement, but it does go further than her Crouch Fierce. So if you're like a little bit further away, it's not a bad anti-air. It's actually a really good anti-air. So her light DP is 4 frame startup, and then the medium DP is like 14 and the hard DP is like 16 or something like that. There's a huge disparity in how fast they are. So the light DP, and also the light DP is the only one with upper body invincibility. So don't try and be cute with the medium DP anti-air or like the hard DP anti-air. That shit does not work. This is not Street Fighter 4. If you're going to anti-air with a DP, anti-air with light DP. But this is quite good because you can like not only can you anti-air with it and catch far jumps, and it's actually like upper body invincible, so it actually works. But if they're like certain distance away and they try and neutral jump your fireballs, you can light DP them potentially. Or even if you're just following a fireball in, you can like light DP their neutral jumps. So it's pretty good there. It does the least damage of all your DPs, so in combos you basically use the other ones, since the other ones all work in all our combos. Is there anything else about this? I guess technically, no, I can't think of anything. There's probably some other thing it does. It's useful for a lot of her really tight air juggles. Like after the light Tatsu I've been doing, or after the corner EX Tatsu, I've been doing light DP because the other two were too slow. So light DP is the one you juggle into, and it's also the one you anti-air with. But it's not the one you use in combos on the ground. Medium DP, combos from all lights. So if you're doing like a light combo, you want to go to medium DP just because it does a little bit more damage than light DP. It also works from further away. Light DP can fall out at like max range, which always looks hella fucking bad. But medium DP, even beyond the max range, if you're staying short, medium DP gets all the hits and combos. So you can catch pokes with that. You can just do stand short into medium DP. Nice whiff Beth. And that ends up being a really good empty cancel. But medium DP for all our light normal combos, and then heavy DP for every other combo. So if you're doing like, you know, all the other stuff, you get the heavy DPs. If you've got time to juggle into stronger DPs in your juggles, then you do the stronger DPs. Like for example, a charged fireball. It does combo into light DP, but it also combos into medium, so you might as well do medium. I got 11 extra damage there. And then that one combo, you can go into heavy DP, so might as well do it. Extra damage. Usually light's the only one that works for juggles, but if you can do the other two, you do the other two. Makes them more consistent because of the extra range they have, and you know they do more damage anyway, so you'd want to do them anyway. EX DP is fast like light, and it's also invincible. It is the only one that's crush counter punishable. The other 3 are just regular ass punishes. They're all really unsafe, but you've got to punish them with just regular ass shit, like Ryu towards Fierce or something like that. But if it's EX DP, Ryu can stay Renos it and get the oh, how plus? So after it's like +4 after 2 dashes, or after a dash. +6 after a dash, I think. Yeah, +6 after a dash, and I think that's true for both of them. And you're like point blank, so very optimal to end like that. There's like no reason not to do that forward dash unless it's like a character. No, there's literally no reason, no character, no context where you wouldn't want a forward dash there. Maybe Geef was super and you're afraid and you've got a lot of life and he doesn't have a lot of life and you don't want you to wake up super. I don't know. I'm making shit up. Let me see. Medium DP into forward dash. Also +6 but not point blank. Just outside the range for my throw and my stand strong. Probably a deliberate decision. And then light DP, forward dash, let's see. Farther still. But you're always +6, so they always have the same like knockdown frames or whatever. She recovers the same speed. Anyway, EXDP. It's really fast. It's like 4 frames startup or something. I don't know if you can safe jump it, but safe jumps don't happen in this game, so it doesn't matter. I don't remember if it's hard knockdown on the first hits, so they might be able to quick stand it. I'm actually kind of curious. Let me see if I can get a bad connect. It might be hard. It tends to get the full thing. So, or maybe not the full thing. But like theoretically, if they fell out of the first hit. I've had it happen in a match. I don't remember if they can quick stand. That's a free juggle state? What? I didn't know that. God. That basically doesn't change anything. But that's cool. Yeah, you'd still just go into the same ass juggles. Anyway, because of the way it's like 2 cycles or whatever, it can hit a limb and then they can fall out before she actually reaches them. So if they're doing like really far away meaties or something like that, and you wake up with it because you just that kind of guy who wakes up with the XDP even if the opponent's not close, then they can fall out like that. But usually it gets all the hits, and it's really fast, so it works in basically any situation where light works, including all combos. So like if I was doing, like I was doing that earlier, I did EXDP as an alternate ender, I just swapped Link again. You can do it in any juggle where you get the light DP, you can juggle EXDP. So it's useful, it does a little bit of extra damage in your juggles, it's invincible so it's a good reversal. Let me see, that's like it. it's a good reversal, and it's crush counter punishable, so you take your life in your hands every time you do it. Sakura has a lot of -2 stuff, so if you want to be that guy who does -2 into EXDP and then catch them trying to hit buttons, it's not bad. Because the thing about that is once you show that you're willing to do that, then the opponent is they're gonna want to punish it. They're gonna be like, oh man, I can block an EXDP because he's an idiot and he does -2 into EXDP. And if I get that punish, I get a ton of damage. So they're going to block after you light Tatsu, and that's going to give you safe on block. That's going to give you light Tatsus where they don't try and mix you up, which is good. So like it's an important part of the mix-up to occasionally do like an EX Tatsu, an EX Tatsu or a heavy Tatsu or a light Tatsu, and then do EXDP to beat whatever they try and do to punish you. Well, not punish, counter pressure. Anyway, it's good for that. Good for after -2, but don't be an idiot. The risk reward is still really bad for Sakura. That's all her special moves, isn't it? V-skill? I already showed it off a little bit. She jumps. The jump is as anti-airable as a normal jump. Unlike Chun-Li, she does not hit on the way up, which really sucks. She will never go over your head, I think. She might go over your head if you're crouching. No promises. Yeah, there you go. But she's really tall, so... if you do the kick follow-up, it's... I think it's a high. Yeah, it is a high. It's +5, so you can do combos. On block, it's, I think, kind of unsafe. It depends on where they block it. Like, if he's crouching, it's kind of deep, so it's only -3. But if he's standing... it's, still -3? -5, there we go, on the high connect. So it's not great. If you hit their like lower body though, it ends up being safer. That was +2. But if it hits the lower body, you don't get a follow-up. The main thing about the kick follow-up is that it freezes her midair, which is really, really good. So if they if they're trying to anti-air you, if they're trying to anti-air the punch follow-up or something like that, certain characters, the anti-air will whiff if you like stop midair, and then you'll punish it with the dive. And then you can combo out of it. So technically speaking, it's the highest damage ender, but it has no mix-up, and apart from the pause, and it's the most unsafe. And then she's got a grab follow-up. This one is functionally, I don't know how to call it. They can jump out of it. It doesn't grab airborne opponents, and they can duck it, but they can't stand block. So she's not too bad here. I mean, a lot of people, if they're looking for it, they'll punish it if they're a good player. But a lot of people will let this one slide. A lot of people aren't ready to punish that. So that's kind of nice. It's not super committal. It looks like it'd be super committal, but it's not. The thing about this V-skill, I should say right now, is that most people are just going to treat it like a jump, and they're going to anti-air it. So it tends to not be good at all. It loses to the same things that regular jump-ins lose to, except the jump-ins actually resolve faster and lead to more damage. 16 frame dash, I don't know. Looks like around there. Anyways, it has a mix-up between these three options. Punch is an overhead. Throw grabs people who are blocking high. Punch beats people who are blocking low or jumping. And kick isn't really a big part of that. Let's see. 4 dash. That was plus 13. And the back one's only plus 7. If you're talking about the air grab. Wrong one. If the air grab's plus 16, then that means, yeah. 4 dash is guaranteed there, I suppose. She does have a 3 from normal, so it's not a bad, I guess that will, at worst, trade. But, you don't get that much from that jab, so, catch people hitting reversal buttons. That's it. I don't even think you're close enough to stand strong there. I guess if you're close enough to crouch jab, you're close enough to stand strong. But reversal 3 from normal will beat that, or 4. Anyway, there's a nice little mix-up between all these options. If you get the punch, you can do more punches. I should have said that immediately. It's actually possible to get a really low connect punch and then land before you bounce, and then you can combo a DP instead of doing a third punch like that. But I want to do it on the second one, like that. And technically, you can get a lot of damage out of that, but have fun doing that. Punch one is safe, and it leads to a nice little bounce combo on hit. This builds a lot of beat meter. I should mention right now that this is, hold on. If you do it like as fast as, she's always frame advantage, so you don't have to do like Street Fighter 4 stuff where you don't do the third one in the corner. But don't do it like super fast or anything. If you do it like that, the higher you do it, the worse frame advantage you have. So you want to kind of delay it. You want to do it like that, where you kind of bounce low. Boing, boing, boing. You don't want to do that. I was like 0 there, so it still wasn't that bad. But if you can help it, you'd rather do it nice and deep. That was like plus 5. Or whatever. Even like Ryu hitting, I timed this, even Ryu hitting like reversal buttons, you'll like beat him very easily. That was actually a meaty stand strong. So it was more than plus 5. Better Oki in the corner of the grab. Let's find out. No, I still bounce off. I'm like the same distance away. So after the forward dash, it'll be pretty much the same deal. Yeah, it's like the same distance. Maybe a little closer. The really big thing about the V skill, this is the thing tying it all together, is that her V trigger 2 has combos with it, but I guess I'll show that off when I show off her V trigger 2. It's her main way of building V-bar, but she can't use it very much at all, but it's fine because both her V triggers are 2 bars, so you don't really have to worry about it that much. What else? Let me think. Is that it? Are we done? V reversals towards plus kicks. And then we talk about the V triggers. Oh, I didn't talk about the super. I guess I should have mentioned that before I brought up the V skill. There's nothing to say about her super. Wait, no, there is. Okay, so it's fast, but it's not as fast as a... it's not as fast as a light DP. So in contexts where you get like a juggle into a light DP, you can't always get the super. But you can generally get the super in most juggles. Instead of like medium or heavy DP, you can usually swap out for a super. You can also usually do... any place where you can land a DP, you can super cancel it. And that's like her main way of comboing super is cancelled from DP. That would be an example of a relatively optimal super combo. Oh, thank you, Ominous. How kind of you. I forgot about that. Where was I? Super. Super. What about super? Oh, it's a fireball from far away. You might think, wow, that'd be really good for punishing fireballs, but actually it's really shit at punishing fireballs because it gets stopped by fireballs on the way over. So, like, it looks like it would be an amazing fireball answer, but not really. It takes like an extra long time to get over to them. If you're really close, you can, like, super through a fireball. Like, a fireball that's right about to hit you, and then your fireball won't hit theirs because you'll just be abusing the invincibility of the super. But that's not even a thing, really. Like that. Didn't even play out the animation. Really shitty. If it doesn't play out the animation, it still does okay damage, but it doesn't, you know, it's not as much. In all combo applications, it'll play out the animation pretty much. I can't think of a single time I've seen it be used and not, like, do the combo. Like, not do the animation. Let me see. What are some... Oh, I should have mentioned this before. Sorry I didn't mention this. But her main fireball answer, besides chucking her own fireballs back at the opponent, which is not bad, is to EXDP through fireballs, and it's actually alarmingly good. It's better than you would think. If any rep of the first DP hits, it combos into the second one. So you don't have to worry about it falling out from getting the first hit and then, you know, missing. But this can be... All of her other fireball answers require you to do them predictably, but this can be done on reaction to a fireball. So this is like invaluable against Chun-Li or Guile or something like that. Very, very useful. But it doesn't work from like super far away or anything. That was like the absolute limit. If you're doing it from like out here, you're not going to be able to punish them. Never mind, that still works. It depends on the opponent. Ryu has a really wide fireball. Guile or Chun-Li does not get nearly as wide. However, their fireballs are slower, so it's you can react easier from up close. So it's a sliding scale of where you stand while looking for fireballs. There was one other thing I wanted to... whatever. Super is just a combo hitter. You can maybe anti-air with it, but I wouldn't. It doesn't beat fireballs or anything. It's occasionally useful in juggles. V triggers? There's literally nothing to say about her. Her V reversal, but I'll show it anyway. It's not... It's like nondescript. It's like not that different from any other V reversal. It's functionally... It looks quite a bit like Jury's, doesn't it? Just kind of spins real low. I don't know if there's some way to make it like whiff or anything because it's got that low looking hitbox, but it seems to have approximately the totally ordinary damage and approximately the totally ordinary like knockdown. So probably nothing super interesting about it. It's not a bad V reversal, it's an ordinary V reversal. V triggers, I guess, right? That's all that's left. V trigger 1, Haru something or other. Supercharged fireballs. So basically, normally, under regular circumstances, a charged fireball is +3 and launches into a medium DP. Under this trigger, regular fireballs launch into DP. Do I even have a thing I can... There you go, and they're +1 on block. So, you basically get charged fireballs all the time, would be a nice way to think of it. They don't have, like, the most amazing... you still gotta do the stuff that combos into fireballs, so, like, low forward combos into fireballs at a lot of ranges, but not all ranges. So you gotta be aware of that. Can't just do, like, stuff max range and have it combo. It's super obnoxious, though. Like, that fireball from that range is like... Hold on. Let me get him blocking. That fireball from that range is +13. So it literally, like, covers your approach. +15. You can literally get a guaranteed dash there. Haru Arashi. Haru, is that Spring Storm? Something like that? Each fireball takes, like, a third, I think, of your V-trigger meter. So you can't throw out fireballs willy-nilly. Well, you can, but you'll just use it up really quickly. Like a quarter. You'll functionally get, like, 3. And then like a little bit of time will pass. On hit, they're super good because they lead to juggles, so you end up getting really nice like damage combos there. And on block, they're also really good This V-trigger is more useful for her neutral than the other one, I would argue, because these fireballs are super good on block. A lot of people, when they block a fireball, they like hit a button, you know, or like, you know, depending on the range. But I've had really good success of like on block doing a sequence like, let's say, like that into, you know, like another one. I'm trying to do the not point play. Something like that. I've had really good success with just strings like that, and a lot of people disrespect those. A lot of people are just like, oh, it's a fireball, and they don't realize that Sakura is like plus. I really wish it Stand Strong cancelled. And then her combos in Crush Counter basically are all the same. There's one kind of big difference. I didn't mention this, but you can still charge them. So just because they're basically always charged, you can still get the charge. And then you can do combos and stuff, I guess. Let me see. If you get that Crush Counter back fierce, you can charge a charged Tangyo Hadoken, and then from there you can get like hard Tatsu, no micro locking required, and then you can get like a DP. It might actually work into medium DP there, because that looked kind of high. No, gotta be light. But that ends up doing a ton of damage. Like for meterless, that's a really, really strong Crush Counter combo. And you can spend some bar if you want to as well. Not bad at all. Really not bad. What else changes? What's also interesting about this? You get great corner abuse out of it, because the fireballs all lead to, like, you know, combos. Light Tatsu is basically not a good follow-up from a fireball mid-screen. Does that... Am I out of juggle potential? I might be out of juggle potential. Might need to go into EXDP there. Why do I keep doing that? Yeah. So you normally get medium DP after a fireball, but in the corner you can do like Tatsu into EXDP, and you get extra damage like that. Oh yeah, let's look at Defeat Lee's combo. I saw this shit already, it's mad good. This is the anti-air back fierce as well, and then he's got the, I think he does the 2 bounce into EXDP. Regular DP. This is so hyper-optimal, it's unreal. Anyway, thanks to Feetly. There's one other thing about this trigger that's worth mentioning. She gets a new special move. It's free, so I guess you might as well use it on paper. The startup is horrid. The range is also kind of bad. The thing is, you can combo out of it. So the ranges, you basically need to be point blank when you use it. If you get like a far away connect, it's not really useful. You can't really combo anything. It's like that would combo on counter hit, but I think V-Trigger 1 is actually really good. I would rather pick V-Trigger 2, but I actually like the way this helps her neutral more than I like the way V-Trigger 2 helps her neutral, although they both help. Technically speaking, this is +2 on block, I think, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of like a Kemi... It's like a Kemi V-skill if Kemi didn't move, which actually sounds really shitty when I say it like that. The startup is kind of bad. I guess it's technically a good meaty. It does some chip damage, which is nice. And you can then follow it with like a Stand Strong, and it'll beat anything they do as a reversal. And then you can then, like, you know, pressure from there, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's a combo from there. There, I found a combo. But the really cool thing about this is that it's actually plus... Well, that was a counter hit. It's actually like +6 on hit. So that combo I just did, that's actually, you know... That's actually a whole sequence I can do. I think you can actually get the love forward in that context. Yeah. So, like, it leads to full combos. I don't know why I did that. There you go. Nice little combo. So theoretically, it's kind of good. But the startup is kind of restrictive, so it's only good as a meaty, and it's not really that much better than this as a meaty. It does chip damage, which is nice. But otherwise, it's not like super notable. There's probably like good set play with getting it up. but I don't know. I don't know what it is. 7 active frames. I didn't actually know that, so I couldn't have mentioned it until you brought it up, but thank you. Hurricane is the actual secret best boy of this channel. Theoretically, it's +6, so if you get a counter hit, you get +8, so you get back fierce, which is max damage. Let me think. I think crutch fierce might actually work from... I wonder. Is that 8 frame? That might be 9. Yeah. That might be slower than that, actually. No idea. That should work, though. 21 frame startup. That's shitty. So if you get like a meaty scenario, it's not bad, but it's there, you know. I think they literally added it because they were like, oops, we accidentally made V-Trigger 2 way too good. Let's like just fuck around with VT1 and give it something to play with. So it's like interesting, and a lot of people, I think most people, if they even know about it at all, they know it's plus, but if you fight someone who's never seen it before, they'll probably try and hit buttons and you'll get some nice counter hits. Let's talk about V-Trigger 2, because I've basically exhausted V-Trigger 1. Sakura Senpu. This one's really cool. So the last one adjusted her fireballs, this one adjusts her DPs and her Tatsus. The first thing is, it gives you an invincible DP, which is kind of nice. Takes a third of your trigger time. Roundabout. Maybe more like a quarter. Functionally, you're going to get 3 of them off. This is good. An invincible DP is good. It also does really nice damage. Meterless invincibility. The only other characters in the whole game with meterless invincibility are Akuma's V-Trigger 1 DP and Kami's V-Trigger 1 DP. So Sakura is in that rare little boat. And the cool thing about meterless invincible reversal is that you can actually confirm it. You can be like, oh, I'm hitting, and then you can super. And that's, you know, a DP that confirms into a reversal DP that confirms into a super when you wake up with it. So if you have it blocked, you can be like, oh well, you know, and then you can just not. It's still crush counter punishable, but you can just be like, oh, I'm not gonna fuck around with no super cancels. I want to save my meter and just get killed. Versus, you know, if you see it hitting, you're like, oh, I can get a bunch of extra damage, and you can super cancel. You can't do that with an EX DP. What else? I should say right now that it eats up your normal special moves. So this is my light, medium, and hard DP, and also EX. So I don't have access to all those anymore. I guess you could technically chip someone out with it too. I've done that before in like situations where they're blocking and you need to just a little bit more damage on them. Something like that into super works. I just missed it, but let's try it just for... There you go. So if they're already in V-Trigger, that's a guaranteed chip out. Or if they don't have any V-meter. So that's a great way to close out a round. Invincibility into a true block string into a super. But it gobbles up your different versions. So I shot off a combo earlier where I normally did a DP and it didn't work. It fell out. That wasn't actually the combo, but it was like that. So it's got like the range of the light DP and the speed of the light DP. It's got like basically all the qualities of the EX DP. It's got nice damage. It's got fast startup. It doesn't go that far, or it goes that far, but not instantly. So certain combos will fall out. But there's other stuff you can do in their place because you've got a better Tatsu. So the Tatsu also, all the regular versions get eaten up, so you no longer have like Tatsu block strings or anything. All Tatsus are minus like 8, I think, or minus, I forget the number, minus 10. So if you ever see a Sakura player doing this, you can punch them, just so you know. But Tatsu gets really fast. It's all versions of the same. Tatsu combos from lights all of a sudden, which means you can do like max range, stuff like that, and then combo Tatsu. Tatsu does a lot of damage, it's got good corner carry, and most importantly, it cancels the V-skill. And then from that V-skill, you can do either punches, and that's the ender if you don't have any more V-meter, because you get like with this trigger you get 3 uses of special moves. You get like 2 Tatsus and a DP, or like 2 DPs and a Tatsu, 3 DPs, 3 Tatsus, whatever. If I did, this is like the main ender that most people do all the time, is they do Tatsu into V-skill, into kick, and then the DP from there. The DP has high juggle potential in this trigger as well. So that uses 2 uses. So you'll often have, you know, one use left over. And then if you're doing this, all of a sudden DPs don't juggle, so you've either got to shell out on an EX DP, which is not bad by the way, or you've got to do some punches. But if you just want to save a little bit of extra V meter for later, the punches is not a bad ender, because you still have Light Godoki there. I actually missed the last one. Oh, I forgot about that. I did actually forget about that. Since the super is a fireball, if you do the non-cinematic super in V-Trigger 1, the fireball does a little bit more damage. But if you do the cinematic version, which is the one you're going to be landing 99% of the time, it's the same damage. That's kind of funny. Because it's a fireball, it gets improved. It doesn't cost any meter, V meter, to do a super in VT1, so it's basically a free improvement. Anyway, not only does it get faster, so you can combo into Tatsu from like lights, which is a really big deal. But also it works in juggles, so something like this, you can suddenly combo, you know, the up kicks, you can combo everything. Whole thing works. Same ass combos work in the mid-air connect. There's a couple combos I should show off, V-Trigger activation combos, now that I'm talking about this. I showed off this earlier. I was doing stage short as a consistent ender, and then I showed off, I think, into DP. That works in both. But in V-Trigger 2, you've got something better. You can do Tatsu. You can do, like, low forward into stage short into Tatsu, and then you get that into your full whatever combo. And then if it's counter hit, you can get like a back fierce and do the same ass combo. If you're doing back fierce activate, you can do stand fierce. But if you do back fierce activate and it's a counter hit, then I like lab this. This is kind of stupid, but enjoy. What about that? Air Tatsus aren't changed, so they don't have extra cost. But if you get back fierce and activate, you can just do Tatsu, and that's like probably your main juggle. But if you don't want to do that combo, if you want to do just like a meterless combo and save your V meter, which is not a bad decision because of the scaling, your optimal ender is jump strong, and it's not even hard. It's cool looking too. Jump medium punch into super. Not from the jump medium punch. I have to do the jump medium punch on the way up. Technically speaking, there's a very precise timing where you can do a late jump strong and then land. It's really hard to do. It's like a 1 frame window. You land in DP, and then you can land a super from that. So that technically works, but I was literally going to include that in like a meme video. I think I put it in the back of the Sakura, the random Sakura sorted stuff I did. I was like, this combo isn't useful, but I showed it off. Oh, just for the record, you can do the punches follow-up, and then do that low bounce, and then get... Oh, hold on, my nose is hurting. Damn flu. You can get that low bounce, and then from that low bounce you can do DP, and that's damage optimal. But you need that low bounce is like frame perfect. And the frame moves. There you go. I didn't actually get the full connect DP. You can get a little bit more damage than I got. But that does optimal damage. That does more than like the dive kick follow-up. If you do 2 bounces and then do the DP, it does more damage than the dive kick into DP. I just want to show off that, you know, it exists. But basically all her juggles where you used to go into other stuff, all of a sudden you can go into Tatsu. So you probably just go into Tatsu. That's pretty much it for this trigger. Basically, Stairman House into V-Trigger. If you get Crush Counter, it's plus, after forward dash, it's like plus 7 or something. Plus 11. Quite high. Dash and back fierce, really easy. Good damage there. I haven't shown it off, but like this trigger is really amazing for endgame because you can do. I think that does work. I don't know. It depends on the height. I don't know about that. It might work, but I don't know. I don't want to fool around. I wouldn't recommend it on someone. Wouldn't recommend that as an optimal combo. This is a really good endgame trigger because her activation combos are just really strong. Her combos in general are really strong because you can lead that whole combo, that combo I've been doing, the Tatsu into dive kick into DP. That just combos into super. Like you can just super cancel that. So Sakura tends to amass meter because her EX moves are all very situational. They all require corner and stuff. Very, very unique spots. She either, you know, if you're not mashing EX DP, which you probably won't because it's unsafe. If you're not mashing EX Fireball, which you probably won't because she doesn't need to. If you're not mashing EX Tatsu because you just like not doing EX Tatsus. She tends to amass a lot of meter really quickly. And if you, like, you'll usually build a super round pretty easily with Sakura in my experience, right around there. You usually get 3 or 4 bars per round. And at endgame, if you're, you know, at the end of the match and it's just like, oh, here's a hit. And you just do a combo. This does respectable damage. 471. Activation combos, that was a counter hit, so I got like probably like 20 extra. So let's say 450. That's not bad at all. That's like half the opponent's health. You know? That's like a real thing that can, like, you can suddenly close out. You can make a big comeback if, like, any single, even if you get like a bad connect. Like that's a weak starter and that's a heavily scaled scenario, okay? But if you've got the opponent down to like 30% health, you just won. You just won with low forward activate. And I have that happen to me all the time. 37% health. There you go. 38%. So it's really good to make a sudden comeback. It's a great trigger to make a sudden comeback. The problem is it doesn't help her neutral like at all. The only thing it helps her neutral with is that it lets you combo bigger enders from like common scenarios. So like I've been doing, like, let's say I normally have this. That's my normal crush counter combo. If I'm in V-trigger, all of a sudden my combo is that. And that hurts a lot more. So the opponent has to be more wary of stuff like that. And all of her combos, all her light combos, all the stuff that normally goes, I should have mentioned this sooner, but all the stuff that normally goes into DP just goes into Tatsu. It's as easy as that. So like if you do, normally this goes into like medium DP. Nope, Tatsu. Normally this goes into DP. Nope, Tatsu. You don't have medium Tatsu combos at all with this, because your Tatsu is just replaced. There's the XDP juggle. That's if you run out of V meter as you're doing it, which is very common. But that's her VT2 in a nutshell. It just makes her combos a lot stronger and gives her an invincible meterless reversal versus VT1, which gives her really spammable fireballs. And when I say spammable, I mean you'll throw 3 of them. It gives you really abusable fireballs, plus on block, nice and slow, good startup, lead the juggles on hit. That might be Sakura. I've pretty much hit everything that I can think to hit with Sakura. I've like run out of things to talk about. There's like still stuff I didn't really mention, like this whole block string. I showed this off in the Assorted Sakura. This block string gives you a safe fireball, and if you charge that fireball, nice. You're actually far enough away that that combos. Normally that doesn't combo. Normally the opponent's too low, but the fireball hits late in that context. So you get punches. I feel like a baller when I get that. And that's a common range to charge a fireball. That's basically the most successful range you'll have charging fireballs. I think Sakura's pretty good against the bigs, Abigail and stuff. Because she that spammable fireball is actually kind of hard for them to deal with the slow jumps and then no way to alter jump arc and whatnot. And no way to, like, you know, she can get this up pretty free if she has some room to back up. And if she has some room to back up, she can usually, if she gets it off, she can usually follow it in and get all that room back. And then she has a pretty easy time anti-airing most characters who jump over it. So this is real annoying. It's not very good against fireballers. Sakura actually doesn't have that much good stuff against fireballs in general. The main thing I found that's useful against fireball spam, against like Gal and stuff, is EXTP. But in an environment with even a little bit of lag, for example, all ranked matches, that starts being an enormous risk and not a good tool. So Of all the matches I played, I feel like Sakura has been my Sakura has been the most successful against grapplers, actually. Alex, what's his face? Abigail, Zangief. And my Sakura has been the shittiest against Guile. I don't know if that's Sakura's actual matchup. She feels okay. She feels like it feels like most of her matchups are 5-5. She's got very little dirt, so you've just got to win based on like your actual neutral. But I do hate Guile as Sakura. Let me see this Ureo. Urio's like he was the super dedicated Sakura player. Street Fighter 4, probably main inner now. Oh, this looks good. That has no scaling from the V-Trigger Activate. Oh, it's... What's going on? I think this is memes. I'm like 80% sure this is memes. How is he doing EX moves? How is that an EX Tatsu? How did he get an EX Tatsu out? What's going on? Way to take. I did the exact same input that he did, and I got a regular Tatsu. What's going on? How is that an EX Tatsu? You have to do the inputs really fast? This is a thing? What do you mean? Like the motion's really fast? I did the Kara. He did a Kara. I saw that. I did the Kara and I even used up back to see if it was up back. Playing Kato into Tatsu. That sounds almost impossible. What? That's two different quarter circles. Let me try that. I don't even know if I can do that. Let me try a different button since I wasn't thinking and I had to get card the wrong way. I did it. That was it. No, that's it. That's actually it. It's Kara Fireball into EX Tatsu. That's absolutely wild. So quarter circle forward, half circle back, like a KOF motion, and then hard punch into multiple kicks. My motions could be a little better. I tend to get the kick first. This has the feeling of something impractical. Let's put it like that. Can I get this hard punch a little sooner? I normally struggle to have these two on the same frame. There we go. That's so strange. Kara Fireball into Tatsu. Gives you an EX Tatsu even if you're in V-Trigger. Could you get an EX? I don't think, because probably not. For an EX Fireball and V-Trigger 1. You wouldn't really want that anyway. But in this context, there's no input overlap between. Yeah, there's no. It's choosing between a V-Trigger upgraded move and a V-Trigger upgraded move. I did the input perfectly right there for regular canceled into. Whoa. That didn't even give me an EX Fireball. She doesn't even have EX Fireballs. Yeah, that would be the perfect motion for EX Fireball and VT1. That's very interesting. I wonder if... Let me think. Akuma also loses regular EX moves in his VT1. A couple of them. So he might be able to abuse that too. I could look for that. How weird. What a weird world we live in. I'm going to take the world